get underway. They'll be led this afternoon by the King's Troop Royal House Artillery. The commanding officer is Major Luke Wadman, the Major General's retinue led by Major General James Bowder. He will be at the very forefront of the procession. On board his horse, Jumping Jack. I've been looking, Robert, at Jumping Jack. He's a chestnut Irish gelding. He was ridden by Major General Bowder at the King's Birthday Parade. Handsome horse. It's 17 hands, so one of the biggest horses in the parade, and that will be coming towards us over the course of the next hour. Lovely to see the Ukrainian flag as well, of course, a small retinue of Ukrainian soldiers here among the procession. They're part of the training exercise which is ongoing at the moment. Admiral Sir Tony Radican, who was with us very recently, was telling us that they've trained now 50,000 troops as part of that effort, 12-nation effort to train the Ukrainian troops. So that small band with us today. And there you see in your picture the Normandy veteran, Alan Kennett, 100 years old, who is a key part of the celebrations today because he will be carrying the Commonwealth Torch of Peace. Quite an honour for him, heading up the Mall past the crowds towards the King and the Queen, who will be there. And there you see the Torch of Peace just in the foreground there that will be handed to him by Major General James Bowder at 12 o'clock. Just a reminder that we have got a special programme coming up. Sophie Rayworth will be leading our coverage over the course.
Now, Timothy Spall reads from Winston Churchill's second Ministry of Health speech delivered on the 8th of May, 1945.
My dear friend, this is your hour. This is not a victory of a party or of any class. It's a victory of the great British nation as a whole. We were the first in this ancient island to draw the sword against tyranny. Every man, woman and child in the country had no thought of quitting the struggle. When shall the reputation and faith of this generation of men and women fail? I say that in the long years to come, not only will the people of this island, but of the world, wherever the bird of freedom chirps in human hearts, look back to what we have done and they will say, do not despair. Do not yield to violence and tyranny. March straight forward and die, if need be, unconquered.
May this torch for peace be a reminder of all those who sacrificed their lives with no thought of quitting the struggle. Let it be a symbol for the future. We thank you and all those that have served.
thank you and your generation for securing our freedom 80 years ago. May I have your permission to start the parade, sir, please?
Carry on, sir.
Alan Kennett made the papers in 1944 when he bumped into his dad in Normandy. And now he's just started the 80th VE Day commemoration procession in the statue of his wartime leader, Winston Churchill, and shortly in the presence of His Majesty the King. The Garrison Sergeant Major.
Morning, sir. Please let you start the parade. Thank you, sir.
So, the events of the last 40 minutes have led up to this. Everyone had to be brought onto parade in smart style to get underway, and they will march up Whitehall, turn left at Trafalgar Square, under Admiralty Arch, up the Mall to Buckingham Palace. And I'm delighted to be joined now by historian and podcast prince James Holland. Hello, James.
Good morning, Paddy. What a day.
What a day it is indeed. And how are you finding the echoes of history?
It will be around the world, because I think here in Britain we do pomp and pageantry and procession and all of those wonderful P's
Who's on parade?
brilliantly. And well, at the moment it's the Walesers, and of course I think we've just gotten so used to seeing the Wales children here at events like this. Well, Prince George and Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, and of course the King and Queen. I mean, let's not forget this is the royal family, but this is a military family at its heart, with links that span back to the military and this community many centuries. So I don't think you could expect an important day like today, the 80th commemoration of the E-Day, without the monarch. The presence is absolutely front and central to it.
And what is the significance of seeing all three children of the Prince and Princess of Wales, there's the Princess Royal? What's the significance of having the next generations?
Well, I think it's exactly that, Paddy. It is that sort of promise of the future. I mean, we're talking about so much history and heritage in today, but seeing the Wales children represents the future. I mean, let's not forget that when Prince George becomes king, he will, of course, be head of the armed forces. That is a role he will inherit.
Now, the princess, I read, is the first one under the law change to have her rightful place in succession. Previously, the men beat the girls.
That's right. Terribly unfair. And there will be no leapfrogging this time round. In fact, one of the things that the late Queen Elizabeth II ensured was that Princess Charlotte would retain her position in the line of succession. And I feel that, you know, seeing the Princess of Wales here and her children, it sort of reflects a very modern monarchy. That's what we're seeing. So I think most people would agree it's absolutely right that Princess Charlotte retains her position in the line of succession. But this is, as much as this is about remembering the past, honouring those traditions, I think when we see the Wales children, it's very much a promise of the future.
And what can be said about King George VI? It's an important moment, James, to recall the wartime monarch.
Absolutely, and in my humble opinion, he's one of the greatest monarchs we've ever had. He's the first monarch to change the nature of the monarchy from the people serving the monarch to the monarch serving the people. That's a really important change.
And do you think that's the way that the family changed from his daughter and to her son? Do you think that's the style he set?
Absolutely. Well, we know that Her late Majesty adored her father and was very influenced by him, and I think absolutely she brought his style of monarchy to her own reign, and you see King Charles doing exactly the same as well.
And Katie, when we see the continuous link between the royal family and the military past and the present, it's also, for me, of my generation, you feel you can't escape feeling that Her late Majesty the Queen is here in some way.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, and this is, of course, the first time that we've seen the King at the E-Day commemorations taking the lead, taking the helm, because, of course, we're so used to having seen the late Queen Elizabeth most recently at the 75th commemorations, and, of course, if you think back, we were during those times of COVID, it was all socially distant, so there is that sense of continuity, and I think, as James said, that sense of duty that it is in their DNA, it is part of who they are. That sense of duty before self, which very much started with King George VI, which continued in the late Queen Elizabeth, and which continues today in King Charles's reign.
The other thing I think is really important about King George VI was he was the first British monarch to set foot in North America and visited Washington in the summer of 1939, and it went down an absolute storm. The Americans just loved him, and of course this was going to be a very important PR exercise for what was to come.
Now, would I be risking myself if I said I think I've been to the home of wartime American President FDR and seen the bedroom where the King and Queen slept? Could I be right in remembering that?
You could be, yes.
Yeah, I'm testing myself, shouldn't I? I should leave it to you. Now, we're looking at the veterans here, and this is Joy True we've just seen His Majesty talking to. And she joined the women's, there she is, she joined the Women's Junior Air Corps. She's 98. She remembers teenage boys in the Air Corps eager to fly and join up. She